Today we're having some more NostrilCam action. We're out with the in-laws, which would be Jason's parents, and we're just kind of doing the Houston thing. Our first stop today is the National Museum of Funeral History, I think is what it's called. And it's up here in Spring. It's not far from where we live. So we're going to hit that first, and then we're going to head downtown. So, yeah, I'll film more when we get to the coffins. We are here at one of my favorite museums in Houston, the National Museum of Funeral History. They have really cool coffins, and really one of my favorite things to look at are all of the different hearses and funeral cars. This is a money casket from the 70s. It has $643 worth of uncirculated coins and bills embedded in acrylic. This is a kind of weird, creepy three-person casket from, oh gosh, I think the 1930s, where a couple had a child who died, and shortly after, the husband and wife planned a murder-suicide, and before that ordered this casket so the three of them could be buried together. They could be buried with their child, and then the mom and dad changed their mind. So yeah, casket was never used. This is the hearse that carried Presidents Reagan and Ford when they died. This is a replica of Abraham Lincoln's coffin that for some reason always makes me think of Johnny Cash. This is a hearse from the 1920s. It's hand carved out of 6 types of wood. This is another one of my favorite funeral cars, this hearse. It's from the mid-1920s, and I like it because it's green. It has gold-plated accents on it, and then the coffin inside has matching gold-plated hardware. This is an exhibit on the passing of famous animal trainers for, Hollywood animals and some of the actual animals themselves. There's Morris the cat. And the one thing that fascinates me the most is the fake TV dinner. Oh my gosh, it's Salisbury steak with peas and carrots, and I want to touch it so bad. I love this. Snow White is not even a real person, and she has an exhibit, and there is a replica of her casket, and I just think that is fabulous. Here's some more cool hearses and funeral cars, which they're kind of a combination of fascinating and creepy. It takes a little getting used to, and they are the actual vehicles. These are not replicas. Some of the celebrity coffins and presidential coffins are obviously replicas, but everything else is an original. This section is the history of embalming, which is a little bit creepy because there's old embalming machines and doctor stuff and medical looking things that kind of creep me out. Here is a widow's coach from the late 1800s and some mourning costumes. These are hearse sleighs, as you can see, that were drawn by horses. And look how ornate this one is. Isn't that something? This is the papal exhibit, and it's kind of big. It goes through the whole process of how a pope is elected, and then it talks about all of the members of the Pope's staff and their different jobs, and it explains the papal vestments and then the whole funeral and burial process for the Pope. This is one of the two Pope mobiles. This one was built for Pope John Paul II when he visited Great Britain, I think. And it's got seating for 4 and bulletproof glass. Jason, what is your favorite exhibit in the National Museum of Funeral History?
It would be the Pope deal.
The Pope thingy?
Yeah.
And why do you like that one best?
Because if I was the owner of the Pope mobile, I would have fuzzy dice hanging from the wind. Thank you.
This one is circa 1972 from Japan, where obviously their motto is go big or go home. The Day of the Dead exhibit is one of my favorites in this museum. And it explains all of the symbolism and everything for the Day of the Dead and what everything means and what it's all about, why they do what they do. It's actually pretty cool. And if you want your final journey to be in something a little bit more non-traditional, you can opt for one of these designer coffins. They come in a variety of animal shapes, and I think they would just really spice up your whole funeral procession. You know, I looked at this before, and then Jason's mom looked at it, and you know what she said? There's no nickels.
There's no nickels.
And you know what?
There's no nickels.
That's what she said, and she's right. There's no nickels. I think I've been through all of the exhibits here at the museum, and I've been here before. This is actually one of my favorite museums to visit in Houston. It's not nearly as creepy as you might think. It's actually very cool. We're in the at the Sky Lobby in the J.P. Morgan Chase Tower here in downtown Houston, and this is totally free, but you have to come up here during business hours between 8 and 5 Monday through Friday. And if you come to the 60th floor, you can get this nice overcast cloudy view of Houston. The elevator ride alone is worth it because it goes, I think it's like 1,000 feet per minute or something. It's just crazy fast. Elevator banks for the 60th floor. And look, the sign for the restroom is right here. And there it is. Which, if you didn't know where it was, you would never be able to find it. These mirrored doors are all over the place, but you just push on it. And it's like a hidden restroom. It's like so fun. I don't even have to go, but just because I'm gonna go. Now we're here at the Waterwall, which is a big wall of water. My mother-in-law likes the Waterwall. This is the outside of the water wall. It's sort of like a crescent shape. And there's water on the inside and there's water on the outside. Taylor's freezing to death because the spray off of the water is hitting her, and you know, she has no fat. Here's a little bit of info on the water wall. 11,000 gallons of water per minute. And that's why the rest of Houston has to ration. Look how happy they all look. We're here at the beer can house. I have been wanting to come here since we first moved to Houston. So finally, we're here. Oh my gosh, it's fascinating. Okay, this is the kitchen of the beer can house that we girls have collectively decided is beyond adorable.
We all agree it's adorable.
Yes.